Okay, hello everyone. So we're your hosts. This is Arcana Homesteading, and we're your hosts, Sherry.
And Shauna.
I jumped right into it
I
there.
know yours.
No, you did. Okay, and then today we are talking about things to know before you buy your homestead, part 2.
Part 2.
We did part 1, and it went pretty damn well, but we felt like it just needed more.
Well, we talked
detail.
about where
Yeah.
to buy your land. So if you didn't listen to
Yeah.
that one, you can go back and listen to it. And this one's like once you find your perfect land, but
Definitely.
things that you should check before you're jump right in and just
Yes.
purchase your homestead, because there's a lot to think about instead of just being like, oh, the price is right.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because
Obviously
I mean, money has to have some sort of whatever, obviously, to it all.
does have to have some sort of whatever. I literally look like I
Unfortunately.
crawled around. I think I did actually.
Not many
crawl on
people
my
are
ground.
millionaires.
That's why I look like that. Very hairy. Can
Yes.
you see my legs over there? Or?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, so yeah, we had talked about in the first one just the basics of what you should be looking for, and so once you do find okay, this is definitely the state we want, this is the area we want, so then there's more things that need to go into it. I think so. A main one for me personally is if you're in a rural area, you're going to have a well. Making sure, especially with the homestead, that that well is good. Like it's deep. Ask the real estate agent, okay, have they ever had to re-dig for a well? Have they,
that matters.
all of these things. Like our neighbors, our well is amazing and it's lasted so long and it's so deep and
Knock on wood.
crazy.
Knock on
Knock on wood. But our neighbors right across the street, now they are uphill. They legit are on a hill. So I'm not sure if that affects it or not. I mean, I guess it would probably.
Yeah.
So
Water goes downhill.
water does gravity, right? It works. So they've had to redig for a well 3 times or something.
Which is crazy.
Crazy.
And it's expensive. It costs,
not cheap.
It's not and you just have to drop it lower and lower until
Exactly.
you can find that water or whatever. So
yeah.
definitely check if there is a well. If there's not a well and you're not on city water, then
Yeah.
you have to dig for a well,
Yes.
which also costs a significant amount of money. It's cool to find a piece of land and you're like, there's a creek that goes through it. Is the creek year round? You're gonna be able to get water from it? Are you you have to think about you're going to need a well at some point or be on city water. So
Well, I mean, city water just isn't available at most of your rural areas. You guys are on city water, but
Yeah.
we can't get city water where up.
No, I know, but
the
I'm
hill.
just saying,
Where
we're
we
on,
are.
we're
There's
on
just no
city,
way.
which is,
Yeah.
it's, it has its benefits. Each has its pros and cons. Your well could dry up and then you're going to be fucked. But with city water, we don't have to worry about that. It just keeps on coming, turn on the hose and it'll be there. If they leave their hose on or somebody, if it's dripping somewhere, their well will just shut off, it'll just be no more water for you for a little bit.
Yes, exactly. You get to wait
until
20
it
minutes.
fills back up,
Yes.
right? So there's I wish we were on a well, just because well water is a lot better for you most of the time. You do have to sometimes check your water and make sure there's not a bunch of too much calcium, and there's usually a lot of rust and stuff up where we are, so you still might need to get a filter or whatever. But anywho, the city water, they put chlorine and
You're like chlorine
and all these other things in it.
Yeah.
They send letters once in a while being you shouldn't drink your water. You're like, what?
You're like, what am I supposed to drink then?
Wait, what? What should we do with it? What about my animals? Can they drink it?
I'm going to assume no. They're telling you can't drink it.
It's fucking crazy. So I definitely would rather be on a well, but there's a lot to consider if you are
Yes,
on
a lot to
well.
consider. And just if you do find a piece of property and there hasn't been a well that's dug yet, it's not definitely, walk away from it. No, go ahead and you can get people out that know what they're doing, professionals, to be yes, this looks like a good place and let's try here, blah-de-blah,
And
blah.
you can always ask neighbors that are
yes.
they might not be right next door neighbors, because that would be weird because you're in a rural area, but you can go down the road and be all hey, how's your well? How much water do you get? Obviously it will be different depending on we are talking about or at Sherry's house, their neighbor, which is just up the hill, they still their well sucks compared to
Right. So
I still
just-
say like hours and stuff because like I live there. I grew up there, so it's like hard to be all like
she's like mine.
it's
mine
mine still.
Yeah, and that's true. And just because theirs sucks, like ours doesn't suck at all.
But I still would get a
get multiple opinions.
multiple opinions.
know,
And
not
then you
just,
get to
like,
meet your
one.
neighbors if there
Yeah,
are going to be
that's
your neighbors.
super
And that's not a
fun.
bad thing. You could be like, okay, that's the weird neighbor. We don't talk to them. They're really nice.
Determined. Yes. Stamp of weirdness. Great.
Yes. So,
Yeah, for sure.
So that's fun.
Well,
as
and you know, that's another thing so let's just roll right into that. Neighbors. And those can change. I understand, obviously, but like, it's probably a good idea to kind of suss it out.
Feel it out.
Yeah. You know, and be like, okay, they're good people. Oh, wow, they're legit crazy. Like, they could be committed. Great. Okay.
I think they're
Let's
probably running a
rethink
meth
this.
lab.
Yes, things like that, right? It's just like, is that who you want to live next to? Because that does, I know
Are you
you're
into
like,
meth?
no judgment if you are. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah,
I'd
no,
rather
for
have
sure.
tea.
I would. That's how hardcore we are. We're having 2 cups of tea today.
Living on the edge.
I know. I did that yesterday. I felt like a rebel. I was just like, I'm having 2 cups of tea. I was like, I said it out loud to everybody. It's like, did you hear me,
you hear
everyone? 2 cups of tea today.
Everyone hear that? Your kids are like, yeah, mom, we're good. Good, mom. Have your kid. Can you do it quieter, mom? Can you drink your tea quieter?
Like, I'm going to drink it like a rebel. How do rebels drink tea? Very rebellious.
I don't know.
I
if
can
rebels
imagine.
drink tea is the problem. So, yes, that's hysterical. But yeah, it's, you know, you might not be appreciative of your neighbors, and I know you might not think it matters because, we're on 20 acres, we're on 10 acres. It's gonna fucking matter. When your dog gets out, their dog gets out, their kids, your kids, I don't even know the fuck. And
They walk by your property.
it will matter.
You know, and if they're not cordial or
Yes.
you know, like one of our neighbors, I've talked about him before, but you know, he's a jerk, and he like constantly is just mad about everything that we have on our property. Everything. Our bees.
I guess it's something
our
you
goats,
might not, you might not be able to
chickens.
avoid. And just because you move onto the property and there's awesome neighbors doesn't mean there's going to be awesome neighbors in like 5
you're always
years.
gonna
So
have
I
that
guess,
one
yes.
shitty neighbor, but it is good to get to know them
Yeah.
anyways. you
For
know.
sure, for sure.
So
Yeah.
So yeah. What else? Beyond water. Water is life. That's a good
Well,
one.
and if you're running a homestead, it's going to be obviously very, very important for you and your animals. So,
is your light usually on like
it's
that?
not.
It's weirding
It
me out.
is. It is.
Is
Should
that
I check
supposed
it?
to be? Yeah.
I'm going to check the camera.
I was like, the light's been on for a while.
Oh, I think I just
Feels
turned
like-
the flash on accidentally, but
Oh.
what would it stay on though?
I don't know.
I'm going to walk around this.
Everybody got to see your huge pregnant belly, so that was fun. Huh?
camera.
Well, I guess anybody that's watching YouTube.
Yeah, it's recording.
It's recording? Does everything look good? It's normal? That's good. Yeah. I wouldn't mess with it now.
Right, exactly. I screw with it. Turn it off.
Sherry and I have issues when it comes to
Recording?
recording.
Anything technical?
We're
whatsoever?
really good at the sound part now. Like we can
Yeah,
like
we're
the
so good
which
at the
that's
sound
how
part.
most of our listeners just like listen through
We're so good. at the
whatever.
sound
Like
part.
we're
It's
so good at it.
insane.
I mean,
I'm proud
as
of
long
us.
as nothing happens, we're really good at it.
They were like, if that wire's doing its job, we're good at it.
We're good at it. But the whole like video aspect
don't
has
know
been I don't
why.
know why it's been a struggle for so long, but
And you know what's even funnier is that it's not even like a camera. It's just my phone. I use my phone on a daily basis. You think I would be able to just like?
it's hard. It's hard.
Apparently,
Yeah.
we fucked it up numerous times.
Numerous times, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I still think we're great at a lot of things. Okay, so back to whatever the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
What's next?
What is next?
What's next on our list besides water and neighbors?
Which I kind of just threw in there.
Oh, you want to so like depending if this is like your first homestead, your first rodeo, like buying a homestead, like you need to be comfortable with how far away you are from
yes.
civilization.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be like a city, like I mean like a store. Like do
Yeah.
you mind driving 30 minutes to the store?
Definitely.
I don't.
Yeah.
Like that's how far our drive is to our nearest store to purchase things is 30 minutes. We're pretty much 30 minutes for everything. Like anytime we're doing anything, it's going to take us 30 minutes to get there, which is totally fine to me because I don't like people. I don't want to be like where all the people
Well,
are.
and once you're like used to it, you're used to it, and that's just like how it goes. So
It's always funny to me when you talk about it, though, because I'm like, they're like, well, how close is the nearest freeway? And I'm like, I don't know, like, it takes me, like, I think 15 minutes to get to the freeway. They're like, 15 minutes? I'm like, is that a long time?
I know. I'm like,
I was like, I didn't
why
think
are
that
you
was
saying
very
it
long.
like that?
Yeah.
Because, by the way, if zombies attack, they're getting you first, city slicker.
I'm fine over here 15 minutes from my freeway. All the zombies just going up the freeway. Fine. Okay?
They're not coming out here.
Yeah.
Nothing's out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, and, you know,
But you have to be
not just
comfortable.
stores, but like medical facilities, hospitals, all that good stuff,
Like
right?
if you
had an emergency.
Or if you know that you have like if you have like a medical condition and you know that you often are going to the hospital or doctor's visits, or even like elderly people, like you're going to be visiting the doctor more, like just facts, right? Like
yeah.
just facts.
Yeah.
So like, you know, how far do you want to be away from all that business?
Yes.
And
What
being
is that hideous noise? Oh, it's your dumb dog.
um
Oh, okay. We'll just try to keep him uninsane for a
no.
bit. Tell Dea to help you.
Tell Dea.
Yeah.
He's already out there.
Okay. You're gonna have to just figure it out.
Tell Dea.
Yeah,
Sorry,
tell Dea.
our children are
My
being-
6-year-old's
they're-
in a mood today. He's in one of his like really, really, really crazy moods. Much more than normal.
which is crazy to say because his usual self is
pretty
pretty crazy.
So when he gets in these crazy, crazy moods, he's like just like an unstoppable force, slightly obnoxious.
spiraling.
Yes.
So the
She's
kids
like,
are,
Auntie, please
yeah.
help me. I'm like, no, I'm recording. Leave.
She's
You got
like-
this.
She's like, I'm gonna go to my room, shut the door. Anyways, so yeah, so how far away do you want to be from things?
Yes. Gas stations, stores, doctor's offices, hospitals. You know, all that has to come into consideration. And if you really are like, no, I don't want to drive 20 minutes to a store, well, I mean, then definitely don't. You know, you need to work all that into your. But, you know, more or less, like if you're out on 10 or more acres anywhere, like it's going to be further away from a store. You're not going to be like right next to it. That's just, again, facts.
Facts.
Yeah.
Oh, the internet. Like, is the internet important to you? Do you have, like,
Yes.
are you homesteading, but you work from home and you need that internet service? That's something you should check. And not just, like, you know, like, oh, yeah, the internet's pretty good. Like, you know, freaking look into it.
Again,
Look,
that's a good question to ask, like, your new neighbors or to be new neighbors. You know, hey, how's the internet? What service do you guys use? What service do you guys use? What service do you guys use?
Yeah, what
And
do you
then,
get
like,
out here? That's like
you
a
know,
common question, actually, all the time.
Exactly.
It's like, what is your internet provider? Like, new people moving
Yes.
to the area?
Yes.
All the fucking time. And, like, I know there's, like, more options now, but
Definitely.
it still can be.
than there were like 10 years ago, even.
It's still, like, if you are coming from, like, a city or a suburban area, it can be quite a shock to how slow, like, your internet, you know? You can be like, are we dial-up now? It's like, so, to how slow it can be. So, like, just something to think about if that's what's important to you. I know for, like, my husband, when we were finding our house, okay, like, years and years ago, like, that was, like, the thing. Because we passed up a couple really nice pieces. I love our property. I wish we had more acreage, but whatever. But we passed up a couple pieces of property just because they didn't get good internet service, because that's really important to him, you know, because, like, obviously he has to play his video games.
Obviously.
Highly important.
Obviously.
So to me, I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't really care. I still wouldn't, like, it's not my, obviously I'm on my phone and I do things, like, because I have to, because I'm a mom. But, like, if I had to, like, drive out, like, to wherever to do it, like, I just would do that. You know, I'd make it work.
I just wouldn't do it.
Well, like, I'm saying, like, if you had to, like, get emails and stuff like that out for whatever the case.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah. Especially for, like, kids things.
Thanks, bud. Ronan's checking on our video.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys are doing a good job today.
Checking on you. I know this sometimes can be difficult. And, yeah, I'm here as your 11-year-old supervisor, letting you know.
It's very nice. And so, yeah, what I was thinking about something else when I was thinking about the internet and when we bought our house. What was it?
Well, what else did we say? We were,
What I was
I mean,
just
I don't
thinking
know
about
what
something.
you were just thinking, but
I
it's
know,
very sorry.
but
Cannot
I
read your
feel-
mind.
You should, though. I feel like you should. I feel like you do sometimes.
Well, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, what do you want me to say?
You know what's crazy is, like, I'm not even trying to think about that. Like, I was like, oh, I should move that box over there. Like,
I often will do that. I often will do that. It is so funny.
Like people are like waiting for like, what is she gonna say? I'm like, that box needs to be moved. That globe looks like it's gonna fall right off of it.
I always do that shit. Always.
Focusing
always.
is hard, especially being a mom.
I blame the kids.
Right?
Yeah, they're always like interfering with my thoughts. I have
know.
broken, fragmented thoughts all the time.
Fragmented thoughts.
And then like, yeah, they're like, why didn't you remember that? And I'm like, why didn't you remember it? Okay. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I know.
You remember yours and yours and yours and yours and yours. Get out
all
of here.
the things, all the time.
All the things.
Fucking, what was it? Okay, so we were buying our house and we were looking at property. Oh, this is okay. So
Wow, you talked yourself right into that. That was amazing.
I know, I am amazing. Okay, so I know I've said this before, and if you've listened, you probably have heard this 1,000 times. But I really, really wish I would have bought more land and a smaller house. Okay, so we bought our property before we even had kids, and and obviously, like, you're a different person every so many years, right? Like, I'm not the same person I was in my early 30s, in my early 20s. You're a different person. Like, you grow, you
Well, and
change.
you're especially different pre-children,
Pre-children,
and then after
post-children,
children.
right? When
I mean, if that's your choices, like if you're having children.
Yeah, but you're a completely different person. And I promise you, you are going to have zero fucks about a lot of things after you have kids.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of moms who still do have a lot
No,
of fucks.
zero fucks.
Shauna's speaking from her own personal experiences.
You're going to care less
That's mine too.
about having a
Like,
bigger
a
house.
lot,
You're going
but-
to care less about, like, you're going to want this more of this space for your kids to run around outside. You're going to want more of the space for your animals. And, like, I don't know. I just, like, if you're, like, on that homesteading, like, path, I think for the most part,
yeah,
most
for
people
sure.
are going to be
It's
like,
that mindset.
yeah, like, why the fuck do I need
well,
a
the
bigger
thing
house?
with a bigger house is you just fill it with more shit, and it's just more shit to clean, and that's literally all it is. Like, that's it, which is like obnoxious because then you're just cleaning more and you have more shit.
Yeah, and it's like more space to clean and more of your time that you don't want to be putting towards, like, I mean, at least I don't know too many people that really enjoy cleaning besides Sherry's son. Like,
My mother-in-law really.
yeah, I guess some people really get a lot out
Yeah.
of it. Like, I would rather be outside personally. I would rather be cleaning out the goat pens, cleaning out the chicken coop 100% over cleaning my house any day. Don't care. Being outside, I mean, as long as it's not like, I'm not like, I'm going to go outside in the 100-degree weather and clean out this fucking chicken coop. No, I wait for it to get, like, cool out, whether that's in the
I like
evening or
my
in the
kitchen
morning.
countertops to be clean, but that's also because my kitchen is small, and so I need that counter space. Like, whenever my kids are like, I'm hungry, I want to be able to just immediately start making something and not have this, like, fucking gigantic mess in front of me. That pisses me off. But beyond that, no, I don't clean my house. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
I refuse.
I mean,
Now that I have older kids and stuff, and the two of them aren't really even, don't actually live in my house with me anymore. But even Dea, she's like, oh my God, the floors are disgusting. And I'm like, well,
she's
you should
probably gonna
clean
hear
it
this,
then.
Sherry. She's going to get mad at
you-
you.
did I tell you?
Yes. Sherry's just pissing off her teenage daughter.
Oh, Mom.
Our last episode, Sherry mentioned something about Dea, her teenager, and
were
it was
talking
like,
about
and she was like,
smells and
"Oh,
perfumes."
she never listens to this anyways. It's fine."
And I called her perfume nauseating. Like, my mom happens to be listening to this episode as my daughter walks into my mom's house. I don't know any of this is going on. I'm down at my house. And she walked in there to get something. And she's like, walking to the house. And then she's like, wait, 14-year-old nauseating? She's like, is she talking about me? And my mom, like, couldn't even respond to her because she was, like, peeing her pants laughing. And, like, even retelling the story, my mom still can't tell you the whole story because she'll just pee her pants laughing. She can't, like, speak through her laughter.
Dea was so, like,
Hysterical.
offended, but, like, Dea was just like, you like, just catch little things, and you're like, wait a second, that's my mom's voice.
And the only
I know
14-year-old
that
she has is
I'm
me.
also offended.
She actually took it really well. I was like, I don't mean, you know me, Dea. I'm already crazy weird with smells, but then during my pregnancies, it's like all heightened and just, oh God, I can't even stand it. And like, so any smell is nauseating, like really just a lot of smells, and especially flowery, perfumey things. And that's all my daughter wears is like flowery lotions, flowery perfumes, flowery fucking everything. You're just like flowery fucking
Yeah,
eyeshadow.
I don't
You're
like it either,
what is
and I'm not pregnant.
wrong
so.
with you? Anyways,
Not her
hysterical.
perfume. I don't like flowery smells. I think
No, I
she
do not.
Smells, you smell amazing, Dea. I think.
No,
it's
she
pretty
does. And I told her that when I was like, hope I didn't actually offend you. I am actually really proud of the fact that you are so like, she's
Fastidious?
super fastidious, very focused on her personal hygiene. I mean, there's a lot of teenagers who aren't. So it's
We
like,
appreciate that.
we-
We'd rather you
we
smell flowery
appreciate than bad.
Than bad. Yeah, because damn. For sure. So yeah, but so I talked myself into something, and then you talked me right out of it. What was I talking about?
I talked you out of it.
Yeah, we got on to like a tangent about Dea and smelling good and.
No,
You
originally
being
we
a
were
bitch.
talking about her cleaning.
Oh,
cleaning. We're just,
houses.
the spaces in
Jesus.
your house.
Okay, sorry. Well, apparently we can't have 2 cups of tea a day.
I
Doesn't
haven't
do
had.
anything
Oh no,
for
I did
us.
have 2 today. That was my second one having with you. You're
Yeah.
like, would you like a cup of tea? Yes. The
Yes.
answer's always
Always
yes.
gonna be yes. I can never say no.
Yeah,
You're
but
like, I
having-
shouldn't, but yeah.
Having a
Um,
more outside space, and that's just from
just-
our
It's hard to like.
personal experiences and our personal like whatever. But yes, I enjoy having tons of outside space, and
You're
you know,
always gonna want
like-
like more land. But
Yeah,
the
that's
other
just
thing you
how it
have to
is.
think about, unfortunately, with more land comes more property taxes. So that's another thing to think about when you are getting said property is to figure out how much
yes,
money you have to owe to the government every year, because like the property taxes, depending on where you live, are going to be a certain amount. So figure that out for sure before you purchase your
well,
property.
and the other thing you also to think about, and I believe we've spoke about this before too, is the more land you have is just going to be it's the more upkeep, and it works really well for me and my crew because there's so many of us, so we all
pitch in.
we all do our thing. It's not like we have, any specific chore set. Like I know Victoria was asking if we had specific, like, does everyone choose their own thing and blah, blah, blah.
Kind of though.
They do, I guess. They do. Like
You do. Like your husband is the weed eater. Like
my
you're not
husband's the
going to
weed
weed
eater.
eat.
I don't weed eat, and we talked about that last
And
time
like
because I hate it.
Lorenzo will help weed eat when necessary.
And Lorenzo helps with
Aiden.
basically anything. I milk the goats. I do the
Like,
gardens.
you do
know what I mean?
you do
so I guess we
animal
do have our
stuff.
specifics,
Yeah.
but
The kids like feed. They do have their
Yes.
daily chores. So it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
everybody does
Yes.
have their
I guess so.
specific things.
I guess so.
Not that it was like
But okay.
doled out in the beginning.
But it
like,
wasn't doled out, and
you
it
get a
wasn't
gold star for doing
no,
this.
and it wasn't like forced. Like my girls
It was
feed
organic.
everyone, and it's only because they want to keep those goats and whatever the fuck else they feed. The tortoise, the alpacas, whatever. It's like they feed all of those farm animals, and so it's not like, don't get me wrong, they're like, I don't want to feed. I'm like, oh fuck it, I'll sell the goats, and they're like, fine, I'll feed. I'm like, that's what I thought, because like I'm not feeding those animals. Like I've got way too much on my plate. So it was organic, but like it wasn't forced at the same time. So, anyways, the more property you have, the more work that needs done. So you should have that in the back of your mind
More
when you're
property
like,
taxes
there's
you have to
only
pay.
2 of us. Will be able to handle 10 acres. It's just that's
And
you know.
and the other thing too, when you're buying your land, a lot of people, and I don't know why this is, they look for like just those open spaces, like completely cleared
yes,
open
yes,
spaces.
Yes.
And
Yeah, it's the worst in my opinion.
it, same like
But it might be it might be us just being very biased because we really like trees.
no, we do really like trees, but like natural shade's important for your animals.
Very important.
Like if you have hot summers and you have like a wide open space and no fucking natural shade, like it's gonna suck for whatever animals you have. Like
Yes.
natural shade is even good for your house. Like I know a
Yes.
lot of people are like, we can't have a tree around our house because it's gonna fall and kill us, but it's like it's not. It's gonna be fine. Like having natural shade around your house helps with like cooling your house in the summer, even keeping it warm in the winter. Like it's just more like insulation, more or less. So like I think trees, and if you have, depending on how much property you have and you have trees, that's more trees you can go, if one falls down, you can cut up and use as firewood. It's like you have the,
sustainability.
Yeah.
Like built right in.
yeah,
And
resources. That's what I was gonna say.
I am a fan of trees.
I love trees.
When I pass
I wish I
property
had more.
that's bare, I'm always like, oh God. I just don't even think it looks good. I appreciate the shade they give. I appreciate it's not just the shade. They legit like give like life to your piece of property too, right? Because it's like a little ecosystem, right? So
And like whatever
little-
indigenous trees too.
Exactly.
Like people like obviously putting up an orchard and stuff is nice and it's fun and you get something out of it. But like I hate when people go around and they just like buy a property and they just tear down every single tree on their property. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like,
well, and then they
why?
plant like non-indigenous
And then
trees.
they plant
It's like so
some,
funny.
yeah. And I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So like the trees like help a lot with so many things. Your
are
natural
literally
trees that are
meant to
for
be
that
there.
you don't have to water every day. Like they are just fucking there, you know. It's
Right.
Just like, and they're providing all these things for you. So like, I really, really would highly suggest to like, if you are going into your property and being like, we need to take this tree down and this tree down, like take a breath,
Yeah.
take a beat, like chill the fuck out for a second, and like, do you really need to chop that down, or are you just being? Because like that was, my in-laws actually when we bought this property, they wanted to take most of the trees down, and it's not like we had a bunch in our front yard, but they wanted to take most of them down, and they were like, it's gonna ruin your driveway. And I was like, this fucking tree is like 40 years old. The driveway would have been ruined already. Like, it's fine, you know?
Yeah.
So like, just like thinking about, I don't know. I feel like you're kind of like when we have a tree fall, like it hurts my soul. Like I feel like you're kind of like a shepherd of your trees, you know. You need to like care for them and look after them, and they're like, you know, have been around far longer than, you know, you had lived on that property and stuff. So I don't know. It's just like different for me, I guess. I hate when a tree falls on our property, even though we get firewood out of it.
Dad's the same exact way. Like he never wants any tree to be cut down. And like my husband's like that's like his job, right? And so like and my oldest son, and they're like, oh, that tree's like sick, like it needs to be taken down, like we can tell it's dying. My dad's like, no. And I'm like,
that's how I am.
and my husband's like, Jim, it needs to be taken down. Like, I'll just take it down. My dad's like, no, not until it gets really, really dead. Juan's like, okay, fine, whatever, fine. Have it fall in your house.
I'm the
Don't
same
care.
way, and like there's, because a lot of the times too, like while it's dying, like it will send up all those little like baby shoots, you know, but it doesn't do that until like a certain point. So like let it have a chance to get its little babies
no, for sure,
growing down
for
there
sure.
by its root system before you like just chop it down. Like I understand you don't want things falling on your house or your barn or whatever. Oh, that's another good thing though. Besides getting off on a tangent about trees and how you shouldn't cut them down, is the property, like what do you want it to have? Do you like does it have different outbuildings? Does it already have
or
a
does
barn?
it at least have areas, good flat areas where it doesn't need, not going to need too much work, where you could build all that. Now don't get me wrong, I know you could build anything on anything. Like there's people down the street built their house right on the fucking side of some fucking hill. You should see
Which
it.
is
It's-
actually really good for
Yeah, it's
everything,
crazy.
like to build like into a hill, like
yeah,
it protects it from
it looks
a lot
crazy, but I mean, yeah, it does protect it from like all the
of elements.
elements. Yes.
Elements. Oh, you know another good one I was thinking about is fucking like, are you on private roads? Are you on like does
Yes,
the
yes,
county take care of your
yes.
roads? Because do you live in an area where it snows? Like who's going to get the snow out of the way when you're
Yeah, is that your responsibility,
Is that
or
gonna be
is
you?
that someone
Like,
else's responsibility?
yeah, you have to get like buy a fucking
Yeah.
like snow plow.
I think did we talk about weather last time too? We did
but like
briefly.
overall, yeah,
Yeah, just overall. But I mean, weather's gonna play a huge part, you know.
yeah,
And
we talked about like
yeah, just
if you hate the snow, like you shouldn't be all
fuck
like
that.
I'm
yeah,
moving
no.
to
And here's another good one: HOAs. Fuck them. A, and B, you need to 100% make sure you're not buying into that, or it's not something that's gonna become something right near us. You know, we've been up there for over 27 years. And it was pretty, you know, there wasn't a ton of houses when we were up there. Like there was houses, but nothing like there is now. And just the past maybe 7 years, maybe less, all this just development up there, right? And they just created this HOA just out of nowhere.
And who wants to create an HOA?
Why did you do that?
Who wants that?
Who
wants
wants that?
like rules and meetings?
Well,
and
they're like,
oh,
because everything is it has to look nice when you're in an HOA, and they can't get away with it looking like crap. Who fucking cares what your neighbors are doing? They want to have a junkyard with 100 cars. You should go for it, okay? You should do what makes you happy. Leave your neighbors alone.
yeah,
Like if they don't want a junkyard, then fine. If they do, fine. They want 1 million animals, fine. Like Why is it any of your business? It's bizarre and weird. As long as you guys are nice to each other, you know, amicable, right? It's just like, it's so weird to me. And it's hysterical because HOA ends like right at our
You
neighbors
can tell where
going
it
down.
ends. You can tell.
Our neighbors going down the street, so they're not in it, and then we're not in it, of course. And like, oh my God, thank God. I'm always like, fucking
Like,
psychos.
honestly,
Why?
it's...
And it was, you know, our neighbor who was randomly was like a huge part of it. Like he was like the president. I don't even fucking know. So weird. Anyways, he was legit sued for having a pile of cow shit in his front yard. Like they're not even over the proceedings of it all, by the way. It's like been so awful. It's so drawn out, just insane to me.
And
you're
like,
just like,
everybody's on like 10 acres too. Like,
what do you guys like?
why do you care if
why do
that
you care
person
what
over
he's
on their 10
doing?
acres has cow shit? Like,
I mean, maybe he likes a pile of cow shit. Maybe
but like,
he's doing something with it.
I'm sure he is. Like, you could sell that. Like, you know,
who
fertilizer.
cares what he's doing
like,
with
but
it?
like,
It's like just none of your goddamn business and leave him alone.
It's so weird to me.
Oh
So
God.
weird to
So
me.
anyways, that's my take on HOAs. I don't know how you guys feel about them,
but you should also
they
check.
do cause a lot of problems,
Oh,
especially
gosh,
if you want to
I would
homestead.
never move
No.
into. You
No.
can't homestead and live in an HOA.
You couldn't actually homestead. Like you couldn't homestead
You
at
can
least the way
pretend
you
to.
wanted to.
You can pretend to. But, you know, your fences are going to have to all be perfect. You can never put, if you're trying to fix a hole, you can't use a baby gate. You can't use fucking hay twine. You can just throw all your hay twine away. You can never use that.
Damn them.
But, I was going to say, you also need to check your zoning areas, like if you're zoned for agriculture, because you might be like, this
Yes.
is great property. It's out in the
Yes.
middle of whatever. And
You'd
then
be
But
surprised.
then you look it up and you're like, oh, we can't have fucking chickens or roosters or what the fuck ever. So, like, make sure you look that up
Yes.
beforehand, too, because that would suck, like, huge monkey balls to be like...
I was like, is she gonna finish her sentence? And she always says, yes, she is. Yeah. That's a really good point, because you don't want to get buy a house or land and then be like, oh, fantastic, we cannot use this for homesteading because of all these, agricultural regulations, all these zoning regulations. Like, it would
so
be
check
awful.
your zoning area for sure. Like, what are you
Yes.
zoned for? Like, are you zoned for agriculture? So, because like our neighbor that complains constantly that I was talking about before, he would happily be in an HOA. By the way, happily
Move,
But I know,
go, move,
please,
Godspeed.
please. But he constantly complains about our animals, and they're like what? Like, they can have chickens.
Have fun
Like, they
complaining.
can have, you can. They can have goats. Like, what do you want us to do? He's always like calling like somebody on us, like animal control and stuff like that. Like, what should they do? Because they can have those there. Like, what do you want us to do about that? Anyways, it's just insane to me. Like,
Yeah.
fucking.
Lovely asshole neighbors.
I know.
We have that one up the road, and she complained about, and she had called animal control on us for what the fuck ever, like dogs and stuff, and because our dogs bark because they're like livestock guardian dogs, and she hates them.
They're doing their job.
They're doing their job, and she hates them. She moved. Like, she wasn't here, by the way. Like, you 100% drove past our house when you went to look at your house. Like,
yeah, and that's the
hun,
other thing. If you
knew
know you
what
have
were
a
getting
stick
into.
up your ass,
Yeah, please
okay?
don't move out to the country.
and if you know that
Just
you
don't.
hate the sounds of dogs
Yes.
barking or goats
Yes.
bleeding or the
Yes.
smell of cow shit or animals,
Roosters
screwing
crowing.
each other like in front of everybody,
'Cause-
then maybe you shouldn't move
Here's
there,
the thing.
okay?
You are
Know
definitely
yourself. Know
entitled
yourself.
to those opinions.
You absolutely
100%. But own it and be like, this is the person I am. I'm a fabulous fucking person, and I hate the smell of cow shit. I don't ever want to hear a goat. I hate goddamn roosters. That's good. That is good. You know yourself. You should own that, and you should not move to the country. Stay.
You probably absolutely should not have a homestead.
Well, right. And it's just like, maybe go visit other people in their homesteads.
I don't even know if that's a
Visit.
good idea.
Visit, have
I
a good
think,
time.
Go.
I love, I know the people that are going to come up and have a good time at our places and the people that aren't. And I almost giddily laugh when we are about to have someone up that I was going to be like, oh my God. They're looking around in horror, I love it. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
One of those things that you kind of live a little for.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
Whenever we know the HOA people are going to be by, we put on our overalls, we get our banjos out, we sit out there, We make the kids run around, completely naked in the front yard.
naked and feral, barefoot. Yep.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah, that's
But-
what we do.
Anyways,
Like, how do you have fun? Well,
we just like to piss off our really uptight neighbors.
that's right.
How about you?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. What else was I gonna say? Zoning. Sorry, I can't stop
playing that
I-
lock. I,
I
know
can't
it's
stop doing it.
obnoxious.
What else? What else?
Neighbors, zoning, weather,
Wells.
wells. Talked about
I
water.
think we did a
Water's
good
super
job.
important.
We did a good job. I think we hit on most of the things we said we are gonna talk about.
Yeah.
Like, I'm proud of us.
And just, like hitting back on the whole, like, just the layout of your land, I suppose.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true.
So, like, if you hate the sight of a flat piece of land, you shouldn't buy that. Just because it's a good deal.
Or what you want your land for. Like, okay, like you.
Yes.
So you have to have some kind of when you find the land that you think you might want to buy, and you're looking at all the things, and it's zoned for agriculture and has a good well, and then you have to kind of look at it like how it's set up. Like, okay, we're gonna want our garden over
Are you
here.
talking into the back of your microphone?
Probably. No, I'm not. I'm good.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna want our garden over here. We're gonna want
Yes.
our bees over here, our orchard over here, our solar panels here. Like, you're setting it up in your head, like how you want everything, how it's the most practical for whatever. But you also need to think about like when like you will look at the property at a certain time of year, and it might not be the worst time of year. So like if the worst time of year is winter, and then like you put your your garden, and then that's where all the water runs to, and then your garden's being flooded, like it's just things you have to think like further into the future besides like right now what looks good in your head. Like you really have to think about, where's the water going to flow? Is this downhill from everything? Where's the sun going to hit for those solar panels? If we build this barn, are we going to block our solar panels because we're planning to build that over there?
Right.
Like you have to like really think into the future, which can be very difficult because obviously you don't know what the future might hold. You don't know how far you're going to get. This might be like a 15 or 20-year plan that you might have in your head. So like, and it will evolve and grow, but you make sure that the land is going to at least give you, at least 60% of what you want it to eventually.
Yeah,
Does that
nothing's
make
going to
sense?
be perfect,
Nothing,
of course.
nothing.
Like, you're not going to find a perfect piece of land that's within your budget and all that good stuff. But, like, you definitely should, the things that are most important to you, those should definitely be hit on. Like, okay, so, like, I want this over here. No, I don't want a flat piece of property. Or no, I don't want a ton of hills. Like, I don't know. It just, again, it depends on what you're using your land for.
I was also thinking too, like, is it already like fenced? Are you gonna have to fence it? Fencing's fucking expensive. Like, are you gonna have to fence in pastures? Is it already?
But that's just like, I mean, obviously, if it's already fenced, you're going to be paying more of a price for it, right? A higher price.
That's true.
But then again, if it's not fenced, it's a lower price, but then you're paying for the fencing. So it's just all stuff to think about.
Give and take.
Give and take, exactly. So
yeah, ours was like mostly fenced, but the fencing was like old and shitty, so like our dogs could still get out, obviously. And then like the fencing you put up, like what are you trying to keep in? What are you trying to keep out?
yeah,
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, so there's so much that like more that goes into like once you buy your property,
yes,
obviously.
yes,
But for the most part, I think we hit on everything for the whole
yeah, I think we did too.
homestead. What was the title of this one?
I keep forgetting.
I know,
it's
me
like
too.
weird.
We like read it like a billion times. Like I can't.
How to Buy Your Homestead
No,
Part 2.
no, that's not it.
It's something like that.
I don't think so.
Yes, it was something like how to. Maybe it wasn't how.
No.
Whatever we said in the beginning. You can.
We
go
said
back.
it in the beginning. Go back and
Go
listen
back
to
and
it.
listen.
Okay, because
Or
we're
just
not
look at
going
the
to do
title.
it.
The title will be correct. Because after this, we're
Well,
gonna look at it again.
Maybe. But yeah, are we good?
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanna add?
I'd say we're good. Not for the specific.
I just want to
Nothing.
rant about neighbors now.
I know. God, your neighbor. See, we've never had that bad of a neighbor, and the neighbor that is really annoying is like way down, not way down the road, but far enough to where we're just not bothered by her. Like
Unless she's walking.
unless
by.
she's walking by and like taunting my dog. It's so fucking weird. You're
So
like,
weird.
get off my fence, you stupid bitch.
Psychopath.
Like, get off the fence. I don't know, why are you leaning on my fence? It's my fence.
It's mine.
It's not yours. Actually,
You
that whole
should-
part of the road you're standing on, mine. Leave.
That's true.
Get out of here.
You should put up just a piece of hot wire very
I told Dad
discreetly.
that.
That'd
I
be
was like,
so funny.
and we have to set up a video camera
Yes.
because holy shitballs, that's going to be so fucking funny.
I would love it so
She
much.
screams and like I can just see her stupid short hair all. Oh my God, it'd be so great. It'd be so great. I can envision it. Yeah.
Sorry, Karen, you should have read the sign. Have the sign like really small.
Karen.
Poor Karen's out there.
Poor
huh?
Karens.
We
We actually have Karen. We have a Karen. Kathleen and Karen.
Oh
that
yeah.
listen to us.
Yeah.
Yes, like
You're not a Karen.
You're not a
Karen.
Karen.
You're just named Karen, which is a lovely name.
before the whole Karen thing came about.
Yeah. Anyways, we appreciate you guys listening. Oh, we are going to be getting our porch talks out on Patreon. Hopefully by next week. We are finishing that up now. We're trying to like bank a bunch of episodes so like we had them available for whoever was ready to listen to that. But it's gonna be super fun. It's more of us just like chit chatting and talking about whatever the fuck we want. And we're like, I know we seem very obviously we're like unscripted and blah de blah and we swear and we whatever, but this one is just it's just a lot of fun because it's just us like bullshitting and talking, and it's not like we're not trying to give any information. It's not like you have to like so
It's not like we're trying to remember like
we're like what else
okay,
do we
what
wanna
was
say?
the other point we wanted to make?
And
Like
we
there's
don't
none
like
of that.
writing
It's just
things-
like
we
very organic, and not that these aren't organic too, but yeah, we
in
don't
a
like
different way.
We don't like to have like scripts in front of us. I feel like I'm reading from a script, and I don't like it. So
But then when we don't write it down, we have the problem of being like, what else did we want to talk about? So I don't know what's better or what's worse or
we do. It's a double-edged sword.
it is
Because like
I hate like because for
I
a
feel
while
like-
we were like writing lists of like what we wanted to talk about like in that episode, and we'd write lists, and then we were just like picking up the paper and like reading a list.
looking like fucking dumbasses, and it
But,
totally
like- but, like,
takes
literally
the
reading it,
wind
like,
out of our
yeah,
sails,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's the organic
that-
conversation like doesn't flow, and the less jokes are made, and it's like we are not nearly as funny because we're like reading from a
Which
fucking
really
script.
pisses us off.
It does
It's,
piss
like,
me off.
very
That's-
annoying.
It is
And,
annoying.
yeah, I don't wanna sit
I'm not
here-
just sitting here being like blah 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 blah.
Oh
blah,
God!
blah, blah,
Have
blah,
you-
blah.
I don't know
Like,
how many
that's
podcasts
not-
you guys listen to, but I've like tried to listen to some, and it's like it like seriously like it like makes your eye twitch, but in a way where it like also puts you to sleep.
The only podcasts I will at all listen to are comedy.
Me too.
And here and there, and even some of
but
the
I try
comedy.
to.
and, like,
no offense if you have a homesteading podcast, but I've tried to listen to several homesteading podcasts.
yeah, I
just to
can't.
be
I
all
can't do
like,
it. I can't do
I don't
it.
know, because like we have a homesteading podcast, and like I will start it and I'll be like, what the fuck is happening? Like, do they know they sound like really boring? Like, do they know? Should we tell them? But like, are they supposed to be
I
boring?
think you just
are we
did.
supposed to be boring? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that what?
Are we supposed to
Are
be
we
boring?
supposed to be boring? Are we just supposed to be giving facts out? Because I don't think I can.
Homestead equals boring. Okay.
I don't know if I could do it. But anyways, our other one is just super fun because we don't have to like.
Yes, there's nothing we have to.
There's
No
no-
info to give. You know,
Not just no info
We're
to
just,
give,
like,
but we don't give
talking.
ourselves any kind of like guidelines before.
Yeah,
we just
no
like,
guidelines.
We're just
which is the best way to do
it's
things.
so fun. Anyways,
It's the best way to do life in general.
definitely more. Yeah, right. This is how we live our life every day. That's why we had 2 cups of tea today. But yeah,
Guidelines can kiss my ass. Yeah,
But-
it's a good time, and so we're really hoping to get that out, like we said, next week. So you can look for that on Patreon. We're gonna do all the links and all that bullshit and all the things. So Instagram and Facebook, even in the Captivate notes for and YouTube notes.
Yes.
So you'll be able to find it lots of different places.
And it's not
And,
expensive.
yeah.
It's only like the lowest tier is like $3 a month. It's like
Yeah,
$3.
exactly.
It's not a lot. But this one, our kind of homesteading will always be available, obviously for free for whenever you want to listen to it.
Yes.
But our other one, it'll be like $3, and then it goes up from there depending on how many episodes.
And with each tier that goes up, you get more and more and more. So that's how that works. But you'll be
Plus
able to go
our
on there.
ever endearing love.
That's right.
We will love you forever. So beyond that, I think we're good. I think we're good.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, and we will or you will hear us next week.
No, we will talk to them next time.
Oh yeah, I guess we
So
can say we'll
you-
talk.
We
to you
will.
Next time.
You will. Who's doing this
who's
podcast
doing what?
next week? Are you guys coming over? Because I have to clean my house. Yeah, we will talk to you guys.
No, fuck
next
that.
Time.
We don't clean for people. Talk to you
No,
next
I
time.
definitely do. I definitely do. I would never let people come.
You're
and-
mom.
I am mom. I like rage clean too because I hate it. Like rage cleaning's the best. Like when you're just fucking pissed off, you know.
Your
'Cause,
kid just
you
like
get the
completely
mo-
stay out of your way.
You
like,
get like
meh.
a lot done in a really short amount of time, but you're really angry about it.
Oh God, you're totally mom. It's hysterical. See, I'm like dishes, and I'm done. And whatever you think about my house, you think about my house.
No,
Don't
I
give
like
a fuck.
I even will like walk around the outside. I'll be like, Jesus fuck, like Jesus. People are gonna be driving in my driveway, being like, really? They're like, yes, this is my house. So it's just like I don't know. I can't help it. I do have like a lot of mom in me that way, I guess.
That's okay. You should own it. It's fine.
I mean, I do own it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
But
You do your rage cleaning.
I
You
do.
be proud of it.
I do. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So please tell me if you're coming over. I hate surprises. All right. We will talk to you guys next time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.